stole my heart, you intercepted it. Now you're gone, have to accept it. Did I meet your mom too soon? Or did I do what I always do? Yeah, we made it to the 50, and then you kissed me. We made it to the 40, a new love story. We made it to the 30, and you did me dirty right then. You put the end in tight end, and as I touched down, just like you in a game, I'm in another town, and nothing feels the same. Wish I could go back when we met that day. Oh, whoa, and throw a flag on the play. If all of the kings had their queens on the throne, we would pop champagne and raise a toast. To all of the queens who are fighting alone, baby, you're not dancing on your own. Let's go. Without me, you wanna, but you get na-na-na. Think it's funny, but honey, can't run the show on your own. I can feel my body shake, there's only so much I can take. I'll show you how a real queen behaves. No damsel in distress, don't need to save me. Once I stop breathing fire, you can't tame me. And you might think I'm weak without a sword, but if I had one, it'd be bigger than yours. If all of the kings had their queens on the throne, we would pop champagne and raise a toast. To all of the queens who are fighting alone, baby, you're not dancing on your own.
She's the queen and I'm just lucky to get close to the throne. I'm not worthy, but she's taking me home. Yeah. No damsel in distress, don't need to save her. She's a goddess, I would never try to change her. She knows she got my world inside of her palm, but she can have whatever she wants.
All of the kings had their queens on the throne. We would pop champagne and raise a toast. To all of the queens who are fighting alone, baby, you're not dancing on your own.
Let's go. I'm a queen, I'm a boss, I'm a brat. Hella independent, I get this, I get that. Shout out to the girls from the burp to the trap. I don't need a man for shit, put myself on the map. Oh, and they thought I was done. I ain't even hit my peak and I'm still on the run. I'm like Lolo on the laptop, I'm running the track. Only time I see a L's in a luxury tax. And my whole team when they post a pic just because they're like, oh, she chillin'. $1,000,000 deals and my lipstick still it. I need acrylic nails, I don't need no critics. So witty gon' glow, so witty gon' shine. Circle full of tens, I don't see no nines. My name on they lips, my name on they mind. How I take it from the block to the Hollywood sign.
All of the kings had their queens on the throne. We would pop champagne and raise a toast. To all the queens who are fighting alone, baby, you're not dancing on your own.
Well, those are. Did he get
I was
shrunk?
thinking more Pixid, but you know.
Dude, I got questions. Whoa, what is going on here?
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
It's like a
That
penis.
actually looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
It looks like a cool Disney character. Road Warrior Drake. I have the book. I read some of it. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I like Azamat. I like him.
Yeah, I like him as a person. I wasn't sure about his comics, but his comics are really good. They're fun to read.
Yeah, they're pretty funny.
You want more Adventures of the Street Champion? Check out RoadWarriorDrake.com. You know you want to.
TSWGGG. She's got her boot, she smashes his face into the ground, She throws the glass at his face and it cuts him. Just on top of all of the torture, after all the shit she did to that rod up that cunt's ass. After all the shit she did to you, are you fucking kidding me? This bitch goes fucking ham. And she likes it. Bam, bitch. 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 Guess what? Shit's about to get real. And yeah, get your panties in a fucking twist about this. Women are fucking evil. Men are evil too, but there are some fucking things that women will do and go the extra mile for that come. She's got her boot, she smashes his face into the ground. Yes, sexy time is the best way to do it. Like, bitch, come on. Like, bitch, come on. Princess Fuckface, is a fucking cunt. Like, bitch, and she likes it. Bam, bitch. 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 Guess what? Shit's about to get real. This is the way that you beg me to fuck you. Beg me to fuck you. Guess sexy time is the best way to do it. Like, bitch, come on. Like, bitch, come on. Princess Fuckface, is a fucking cunt. Like, bitch, and she likes it. Bam, bitch. 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 Guess what? I'm the motherfucking shit. Come. Because they want his bodily fluids. That's you. And I guess sexy time is the best way to do it. Special hero juices. TSWGGG.
much to me. I was afraid to love you, but now I won't love you. Your tender touch meant so much to me. I was afraid to love you, but now
Don't need my profile to be that big on screen. I like it this small. So, my good friend Caleb Reynolds is in the chat. Hail, Caleb, welcome for in the chat. Nice seeing you there. My worst friend, my frenemy, Helmet. He's my frenemy because he's a big Millhouse Pogs guy. We all know that men don't play with Pogs, so he's had it for me ever since. I saw Colin Lamping here earlier. How you doing, Colin? Massive Panda, always first to comment and always last to show up. So, JAV Styler. There, I said it right. JAV, not Job or Yob. It's JAV Styler. He was in the chat earlier. James Hurley trying to get me to believe that Thomas Jane was a better Punisher than Dolph Lundgren. Shame on you, James Hurley. Shame on you. How dare you? Just for that, I banish you to Frog Tony stream. You will be there from now on for saying that Thomas Jane was better than Dolph Lundgren. No, we believe Dolph Lundgren was it's all subjective, I know, but still, like, people tend to take things seriously, so you never know. You never know. I'm in kayfabe. No, seriously, I like Dolph Lundgren better than Tom, but Thomas Jane wasn't bad as Punisher. He wasn't bad as Punisher though. It wasn't. I saw the Thomas Jane Punisher years ago. It wasn't as bad as I feared. It was actually okay. I didn't hate it. So, oh yeah, you're Ray Stevenson. Yeah, Ray Stevenson got good reviews as Punisher. I haven't seen Warzone, so I can't say it was good or bad because I haven't seen it. But one day I will. But I know some people who have seen it have said it was good. So I will give it a shot one day. Lady Shadow Band in the chat. Hail. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being my rock and supporting me here. JAV Styler. Switching to my laptop, though. Got you. Yeah, I get that. Tonight's stream. Okay, so I was at work most of the day today, so I didn't get a chance to really pick an outlier, and I didn't want to not stream. But I said, you know what can I do? Oh, I know what I'll do. I will go ahead and put up a Q&A stream and interact with you guys today. Nothing is off limits. Everything is on the table in terms of any questions you want to ask. I did notice in the last week lots of conversations between people in the community and creators regarding certain items. I noticed that my good friend Henry Throne, actually a regular in our chat here, he brought up a comment that was reminding him of something that I said on a stream, and I'm like, oh wow, some of what I'm saying is catching up to a lot of these, and that's actually heartwarming to hear. Let me see if I can find it, because I quote tweeted it, and then I think, did I retweet it? So I spent most of the day yesterday harassing the Acolyte fans because they are deranged bigots who are full of hate in their hearts. I have no problem bullying them. I did a video yesterday that I uploaded on my channel about the Acolyte fans and how they're the true bigots. And I've been having fun picking on them. And I have no shame saying that because they are pretty mean-spirited. Well, let me not go and say really what I want to say. But they are mean-spirited and they deserve to get picked on because they have hate in their heart, hatred, racism, bigots, misandrists, complete misandrists. But that's not why I do these streams. I'm just bringing it up because I had a day yesterday on Twitter. And it was fun. It was absolutely fun. So, but yeah, I also mentioned a time change, and that is something that I'm going to be mulling over because I got people in the quote unquote slums now streaming over me. And, like I said, I said that was some, I thought there was understanding. I mentioned that last week, but I don't want to mull it any further. At this point, I just got to make some changes on my end if I want to get the results that I need. I can't depend on anybody. So I got to do what I got to do for me and my brand and my show. But that depends on you guys too, though. It's whatever, what could be a reasonable time for most of you who have been following me along the show. Colin says, I am watching your stream for good now. Well, hail, Colin. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Helmet says, the Acolyte is so bad it could be written by John Malin. Not enough dialogue in that show, though. Not enough dialogue. But yeah, it could be. Space witches. Oh, they retconned the Plagueis thing so badly in that fucking show. I'm so glad it got canceled. Actually, I don't know if you guys heard, but they removed the Disney Store removed all merchandise from the Acolyte off their store. They realized how embarrassingly bad that show was. That they're pretty much erasing it from canon. And good, they should erase it because they did a lot to damage the current canon of Star Wars. This is becoming a Star Wars stream, but let me not go any further. Well, unless you guys want me to talk about it, this is a Q&A. You guys in the chat are going to be doing the Q&A with me today. You get to ask me questions. Any questions, even if it's spicy, I'll take a chance and answer it. Liquid says, good old reliable Lasma. Is there an actual comic talk here? Dylan, not a daytime gossiping talk show host. Well, today's show is a Q&A show, Link. But yeah, I do these streams as a comic themed show. You see my show, so you understand. I don't want to deviate from that. I deviated just a bit now talking about the Acolyte because I did a video yesterday that I uploaded. It's currently still like at 90-something views, though. So it's not performing as well as I thought. But the video that I uploaded before that, where I talk about the She-Hulk stands being mad about the Deadpool and Wolverine movie being really good, that's almost at 500 views. So that video is doing really good. So I am trying to keep my stuff focused on comic talk, but interesting comic talk. And also, it really does depend on how well you deliver the message, because delivery equals entertainment. So I am big on that. Colin says, what day would you change it on? I don't know. It's a good question. It's definitely going to be later in the evening, like around 10ish. So it'll either be like a Tuesday 10 o'clock, a Monday 10 o'clock, or maybe not a Friday. See, Wednesdays is the Slum streams, Thursdays is the Cockfight, and Fridays is Wiggle streams. So that leaves me with either Monday or Tuesday around 10ish. I may even do like 11 o'clock. But if I do that, I gotta talk to Lord Rap to Jesus, because I want to make sure that I'm not going over his stream, because good night. Yeah, he's got massive following right now. Good for him. He's got the voice for it. Massive Panda says, I canceled my Disney Plus account a long time ago. Disney really hasn't produced anything worth my time in about 10 years. Have they been out that long? Oh, you mean Disney? You mean Disney in general, not Disney Plus, because Disney Plus has only been out for like 4 years. So, but yeah, well, I mean, do you count Infinity War and Endgame as Disney produced stuff? Even though the plans for Infinity War and Endgame were laid out by Avi Arad before Disney purchased Marvel? Good question. What do you guys think? Do you think that we count Infinity War and Endgame as Disney films, even though Avi Arad was the blueprint, the architect behind that? Let me know what you think. Let me know what you guys think. That'll be interesting to hear. Colin says, "Read me this, Batman. What type Hawk has a peanut head and hates it when you say I'm not reading that word. Don't get me struck from my channel. Don't get me struck." John Miller hates Thomas Jane as an actor. Is it true that Thomas Jane is writing a book? And did he actually say what he said about EVS? Because I know you've been putting that out there, but I haven't seen it. You want to find that for me? Because I'll look at it. That's interesting. I didn't even know he was writing a book. I had no clue. I would hate for this to be so late. I like the show when it is. I have zero interest in other indie streams. So, okay, well, see, that's good. See that kind of feedback, Colin, will encourage me to stick where I'm at. That's why I'm just curious to see what others have to say. If I just stay where I'm at or what have you. Because again, the goal of these streams was to keep it comic focused, entertainment focused, and avoid the gossip and all the muckraking shit that is infecting the other streams. Not just in our network, but in other comic-related streams as well. So, and that's been my goal, and I want to stick to that goal. I don't want to go further beyond that. That's why I don't watch certain streams. Like I avoid a lot of the how do you call it? Sensational streams. We'll put it like that, because I don't want their content infecting what I do, and I don't want to even be motivated or moved from that shit. I just want to just avoid that. So. Caleb's 100%. See, I'm okay. That's encouraging. I appreciate that. A consistent day would be nice, though. Like I said, I'm just testing the waters right now, Colin. I'm not saying I'm going to move the time slot. I'm just testing the waters. So, like right now, I got about 11 people watching, which is good. I'm going to 11 because comic-related talk doesn't get 50 or 60 live viewers, unfortunately, unless there's someone like Peter Samedi or even Tyler from Draw and Talk, which they can get a good amount of viewers up, or Cartoonist Kayfabe in their peak, where they will get hundreds of live viewers. So there's space for it. It's just getting people to be motivated to come on here and have this conversation. And it's important because I am seeing people now taking the points that I've been putting out there, and y'all are sharing it, and that's For me, it's encouraging because that means you're listening, and it means that I am absolutely making a difference in terms of what I do. You know what my plan is for Road Warrior Drake. Here's our good friend Henry Throom on a thread here. When JDA was when EVS and JDA are going at it, and then Henry Throom replies. He says about what I said about often. Comics are supposed to be fun. The shotgun style, you talk about Shotgun Samurai. The shotgun art style isn't as detailed as other books, but it works great with the action. For me, the story plays a larger part in my enjoyment of a comic than art detail. And that's good to know. That's actually very good to know because a lot of people think that way. And there's a conversation that's being had now. And I think Malin's Godlike opened that conversation more than before because people are now starting to understand, hey, you know what? It isn't just about the art anymore. Yeah, the art is important, but so is the writing. The story and the art must work together. They have to work. They cannot be in contrast with each other. They have to work together. I forgot about the first lineup of Marvel movies. Yes, those count. Everything after that was diarrhea, in my opinion. Yeah, I think most people have checked out after Endgame, me included. After Endgame, it was all shit. So that's a very popular consensus. Thomas Jane's an underrated actor. He was wasted in Shane Black's Predator movie. Which I don't even which Once I see Shane Black's name in anything, I avoid it. After Iron Man 3, I avoid anything with Shane Black's name in it because the guy can't write for shit. I hated Iron Man 3. And I've watched that movie more than once, and every time I watch it, I come away hating it more. I really think it's one of the worst in the MCU, but for some reason that movie made over $1 billion. But Iron Man, people like Robert Downey Jr. So, you can't deny that. I just don't like it. Drama, gossip streams. I hate those. They're not entertaining in the slightest to me. Not for me either, Colin. Well, let me rephrase. Let me not lie. I enjoy them once in a while. I'm not gonna lie, but do I want to do that? No. See, the thing is this: I'm not a YouTuber. I was never meant to be a YouTuber. I was meant to make Road Warrior Drake. Road Warrior Drake. To me, I wanted to produce that comic book. Not even a comic book. It's a graphic novel. It's a self-contained story. Street Champion Road Warrior Drake is a self-contained story. So is Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake. Those are self-contained stories, but they're part of a bigger story arc that's being told. I've been more and more vocal about it, that I don't like these books coming out that are just like segmented stories. Not even stories. They're segmented sections of stories. You're not getting a beginning, middle, and an end. And it's like you're paying $30-$40 for books that don't have a beginning, middle, end, but they're like part of a story, and you got to wait 3 or so years for the next part to come out. It's like, no, I want a complete story, and I'm making complete stories. Street Champion Road Warrior Drake is a complete story. So is Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake. And speaking of which, Street Champion Road Warrior Drake, I have those books in the print shop right now. For those of you that back this in the current Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake campaigns, so I'm going to be getting those books next week. And once I get Street Champion Road Warrior Drake next week, I'm going to mail those out. Okay? So those of you that backed Street Champion Road Warrior Drake in the Beast Citizen campaign, your book's going to get mailed in the next few days. Once I get them back from the shop. And also, I have an announcement to make too, but I won't make it here. I was going to make an announcement here on the stream, but I'm going to make it instead on the Slums stream tonight with Dark Gift. So stay tuned. Check out that stream when I'm on, because me and Dark Gift, we have a big announcement to make. So you're going to want to hear that. 100% is Caleb. I think he's referring to my talk about the comic-related streams, not the drama streams. Deep Blue Sea's a guilty pleasure, says James Hurley. Caleb is everybody on the internet. It is the internet. Just turn it off if you don't like it. Yes, turn off the internet if you don't like it. Trust me, it works. When I don't like it, I turn off the internet and I put on my Blu-ray and I watch, my DVDs. I watch. Yesterday I was watching Godzilla vs. Biollante on my Blu-ray. It was beautiful. I was like, oh wow, Godzilla. I'd rather watch Godzilla than most of the internet anyway. I like the positivity on this stream, says Colin. I'm praising. See, you were doing just great with this comment, and you had to ruin it with this comment. Damn it, Colin. Just when I think I have hope for you, you have to go ahead and ruin it. I did report him, and he deserves to get reported. My good friend Fiona's here. She says, have to still read volume 4 and 5 of Trigon Empire before the next hits. The Nice Guy is Shane Black's best movie. No, I'll take your word for it, James. Finally, someone who agrees that Iron Man is trash. It is trash. And I saw that movie in the theater. I rarely go to a movie. I'm sorry. I rarely go to the theaters to watch a movie and come out and really hating it. I hated Iron Man 3. I came out of the theater. I was like, what the fuck was this shit? I was like, what the hell was this? This is garbage. Yeah, Iron Man 3 was garbage. That movie really had Disney's claws on it. And it was trash. I'm sorry, that movie was trash. I 100% agree. And I will fight anybody who wants to challenge me on that. Helmet says, bought the first issue of Hal Foster's Tarzan today, D word man. You should really do a stream about Hal Foster. If he fits the what is it? What do you call it? The eligibility requirements of an outlier, I will absolutely do one. But I gotta check him out first. So yeah, concepts are first and foremost. Great art is fun to look at, but endearing characters, character arcs, and development, romances you can root for, and badass villains will keep you coming back. So if you notice some of the creators I spotlighted on these streams, whether it's Eckhart Brightshoe, who did Luba Wolfschwanz, that was a very interesting character, very popular character in Germany. Or Peppa with Condorito, very popular character in South America. Or One Punch Man, you know, the one who created One Punch Man. These creators create characters that people like, and you keep coming back for them. And there's a reason why I do these creator spotlights, because they are embodying what was fun about these books, or what is fun about these books. And that's missing in our indie sphere right now, especially in Comicsgate. It's missing big time in Comicsgate. Fiona says, Bendis 1224 part decompression story. Yeah, we don't like those. We don't like that Bendis stuff. Fiona says, Gold and Silver Age got to the point, had many adventures. Yeah, I speaking of which, I just bought volume 2 of Vault of Horror today. If you guys like horror comics, I've been buying the EC Comics collected omnibuses, and volume 2 of Vault of Horror. I bought that today not volume 2, volume 4. It was volume 4 that I bought today. I have volume 1 and volume 2. I'm missing volume 3, so I gotta get volume 3. But I saw volume 4 at the comic shop, and I said I'm getting volume 4. So, Omega Girl, yeah, Omega Girl is another character in our sphere. Totally. Massive Panda says, "Hell yes, I'm looking forward to my package. I can finally read your work. Yeah, it's coming to you soon. I should be getting it next week, and I'm gonna start mailing them out. So yes, you will definitely are going to get it. And also, when you get it, I definitely recommend you checking out Well Red's stream about the review of Street Champion Road Warrior Drake. He had Twitless on and Dark Gift, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with it, but if not, check it out. I think Twitless was probably the one guy that gave it probably the most fairest shake of that book, because Dark Gift and Wiggle, they were my friends. Cider was in there too, and he gave some good thoughts in it, but I think Twitless gave the best, most honest. Not saying that they weren't honest, but he was someone that didn't have anything to like gain or lose by giving a review. So check his review out. I think you'll see that the book has a lot of strengths, and the weaknesses of the book are improved upon in Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake. I'm telling you, this is going to be a great 1-2 double punch with these 2 books. Colin says, see, my stuff is serialized, but because I release it so often, I can get away with it, especially since I am not fulfilling some of my story arcs after 100 pages. See, it's okay to do that, like you said, Colin, when you're doing it periodically and consistently. So if you're doing like every other month or something like that, that's fine, because that's not a humongous wait time. But if you're doing it like that, if you follow that model, but you're doing it every 3 or 4 years, it's a failure. I don't like that, and I can't support books that do that. I like a complete story. You can't do the serialized floppy model with graphic novels that come out every few years. It doesn't work. Jolly Green says, what is this show about? This is a Q&A. You guys can ask me anything. We're going to have a conversation today, and I'm also just getting some thoughts and opinions from the chat about a possible time change. If I should stick with this time slot, or if moving to a different time slot will get more viewers for me. I've been doing some uploaded videos, and I'm getting some traction on my channel. I got some new subscribers, lots of new views. But I'm also testing the waters with the videos that I'm uploading. Like, for example, the Deadpool and She-Hulk video, that's almost at 500 views. But my Acolyte video yesterday isn't even at 100 yet. So it's like, I guess Star Wars is truly dead. Okay? It is truly dead. Because if my video would have done better, but it's not. Because it's not as popular as the ones. It's dead. It's a dead brand. Meanwhile, Deadpool and Wolverine is still hot in the box office, and people still talk about that. So You have to go figure that. Yes, how Jolly Green appears, Caleb. Absolutely. Iron Man 3 was a complete joke, 100%. Totally. That is 100% true. It is a complete joke. They ruined the Mandarin. They gave him a stupid child sidekick, and he wasn't even Iron Man most of the time. It's like he was like out of the suit like for most of the movie. It was stupid. It's like, I wanted to see an Iron Man movie. Yeah, I get it. Robert Downey Jr. is an entertaining actor, very good actor. He's funny. He's he's entertaining. I said that already. But we want to see Iron Man. Like give Robert Downey Jr. his time on screen, but give us Iron Man. Like having him like being out of the suit most of the time wasn't fun. It really wasn't fun. So the Mandarin sucked completely. That alone ruined the movie for me, among other things. But they could have fixed everything else, and if they had done the Mandarin the way they did, that movie would still be shit. So yeah, Iron Man was garbage. I release my comics every 2 months, and that's fine. That's okay. That's fine because at least you have a set schedule and it's within a reasonable time frame. So that's perfectly fine. You can do that, and I think that will work for you. And I think a lot of people will be okay with that. I'd be okay with that because that's still better than 3 or 4 years. So absolutely, if you can do it, then do it. That's great. Fiona, and to what people do the Royal Road, consistent release, even 2 days a week will let you know. Yes. Colin says, one of the reasons I decided to do online because I wanted to write a serialized comic book and I realized the logistics of constant campaigns would not work. Yeah, if you're doing a serialized like that, it probably wouldn't work. So, it sounds like you're doing the one model. If you remember like my stream on One and One Punch Man, and not even just one, like Kazutomo Ijitomo with Handyman did the same thing. They would upload their stuff online and build their momentum like that. Like upload their whole books online. Like Kazutomo, he uploaded pages from his Handyman series in the beginning on Japanese Twitter, got into a fan base before he started releasing physical books, and he started making bank that way. F the world, I blew up my chainsaw, says Shifter. That is what you get for harassing and abusing me. For once, karma has finally answered the call. Yes, I claim victory. I claim victory for against Shifter. Yes, I'm happy now. I'm so happy. I'm very happy now. And just for that, I'm going to scream out into the void my victory roar.
Yeah.
God, that's so beautiful. I'm horny. Massive Panda says, "Yeah, I'm almost certain that Pepper Potts spent more time in the Iron Man suit than Tony Stark did. At least that's what I remember from when I saw it in the theater. What a waste of time. Yeah, she got to fight a blow in that movie, and I suppose she was like Iron something in the comics, but you take away from Tony Stark's arc, and I hated that. I hated the final scene. I really did. God, that was such an awful movie. I can't be friends with anybody who thinks that movie was good. I can't. I really cannot. The movie was shit. Colin says, yeah, that is kind of what I'm doing. I'm hoping to get interest in fan base so I can get print comics. So I don't know if you've done the webtoons route, but if you go on webtoons, you definitely are going to get traction. Because first of all, you already have like what 12, 13 completed stories. So yeah, do what One did. Or what do what One did and what even Ichitomo did, which is upload your books online, do it on webtoons, and build your fan base like that. And if you have enough of a fan base, I would consider releasing physical books. So and make your money. Compilations, yes. Yeah, says Fiona. Yes. I have done webtoons and global comic. Okay, so you're already a step ahead. So yeah, you just gotta promote it more, and minimize your interactions with the community because the parasocial nature of comics is poison. It's absolute poison because we interact so much with our fans and potential customers that we end up putting them on the same playing field with us, and it always results in some toxic interactions. And it's like that's not healthy because us creators, believe it or not, we are human. Yes, I'm not a peanut head. I'm human. So we are human. So we're gonna find ourselves with our feet in our mouth once in a while, and we say something stupid, and then, you know, well, before you know it, we're at odds with the community, and that's not healthy. And I think that's something that, although we thought it was a strength for us here, it's actually more of a weakness and more of a downfall. This parasocial nature that we have with our community. I really like that chainsaw. It didn't have any of that pussy safety crap on it. Well, I think that I don't know, should we give him a moment of silence for Shifter's chainsaw? We should probably give a moment of silence for Shifter's chainsaw. Here we go. Moment of silence. That was also beautiful. Jolly Green says, Elizabeth, you're more a fan than a creator. I'm banning you for that one. I'm legit. I'm a veteran. I'm a veteran. I already produced 3 books. I'm a veteran, Jolly Green. I have done the thing. I'm a leader now, so you can't call me that. I'm absolutely I'm not just a creator. I'm a pop creator. So I've checked out multiple boxes. I'm important. So you cannot throw stones at me. You cannot throw stones at me. So, oh wait, we got an update. Another snowflake from the acolytes circle. This show was a review bomb from some quarters who perceived it as woke, with certain corners of the internet going after Headland, who is a member of the LGBT community as well as Series' diverse group of actors. Look at them. Why have you let bigots and racists win? You notice how they always bring up race and all that stuff. Hey, by the way, why is this person defending Leslie? It's actually Leslie Headeye. I called her Headland too, but it's actually Leslie Headeye. Hey, Stone Star, whoever you are, did you know that Leslie Headeye was the personal assistant to a sex offender? Did you know that she was the personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, a sex offender? Why are you defending a sex offender? This is how brain dead these people are. They have such hatred and darkness in their hearts that they'll defend evil people just to put their agenda out there and to insult men and other people and other real Star Wars fans. You know, the ones that believe Han Solo shot first. Oh, I'm getting salty. I'm sorry. I'm getting salty. Trying to stay away from drama. Yeah, you just do that. You'll be fine. So, I mean, we're not doing drama here. No, we're not doing drama here. I'm keeping it creative focus, entertaining focus, but you know, it's okay to laugh at people that mock you, and it's good to bully them in return. Jolly says, Alasma, does making 3 books count if nobody has ever seen them? I have proof that I made them, Jolly Green. Well, Red reviewed it. There's the proof. Well, Red reviewed it, therefore it exists. I don't care what I mean. I've done the thing, Jolly Green. I've done the thing. Oh yes, I've done the thing, and I'm a winner. Thank you for your comment. Come again. Fiona says, I go at drama like I do the news nowadays. I just look at a certain amount, then carry on with my day. Yeah, I do the thing too. I carry on with my day. I'm bored with it, but I'm having fun picking on the Acolyte, all 10 of the Acolyte fans. Oh, that show was crap. JAV, Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant. Yeah, sex offender Harvey Weinstein. Yes, but we don't want to talk about that. See, these are the same. Okay, this kind of goes to comic talk, but these are the same insects that didn't shed a tear for Ed Piskor when Piskor was canceled by lying whores who made derogatory comments about him and accusations about him that were not proven. Actually, they were proven to be false. Let me say that. They didn't have anything to say about that, but they're mad because their show got canceled, despite the fact that the showrunner for the show was the personal assistant to a sex offender. And she knew what was going on. Let's not pretend that she was in a bubble. She knew what was going on. But we're going to forget that. We're going to forget all the evil things that Harvey Weinstein did. And this is how inconsistent these people are. And this is why letting them into the comic space was a bad idea. They don't belong in the comic space. or any space for that matter, because what happens is they produce the shit they produce and nobody watches it, and then they cry racism and they cry bigotry and all that stuff when the obvious happens, which is their shit bombs and fails, and it bombs so badly that even Disney's getting rid of it from memory. That's how bad that show was. Oh, the space witches. Oh, E-Man says my mouth was pretty salty earlier. Reminds me of that Seinfeld line. These pretzels are making me thirsty. I need some water. I gotta get some water later. But I had two cups of wine earlier today. I was at a event earlier for my job, and they had cognac, one red and one blanco, as it says on the label. I prefer the red because the blanc I didn't particularly care for. I like white wine, but the not cognac. It does to me. It doesn't taste good. I prefer the red wine, but it makes me dehydrated. And I had 2 bottles of water also during that event, so I have a lot of pee that I got to do. But I'm still kind of dehydrated. So after the stream, I'm going to drink me a nice thing of water and just chill and relax for Dark Gift Slum stream, which is coming after this. JAV says it's the Kevin Spacey tactic. Oh yeah, it's pretty obvious now what we're seeing, and I haven't been as vocal about it in the past because I just wanted to do my thing. But I think the Ed Piskor deletion really ignited something in me, and I've just been more aggressive lately with these evil people, and they're not nice at all. They really aren't. Like if you decided you didn't want to see The Acolyte, for example, they had no problem calling you racist, sexist, misogynist, all that crap. They threw all the istophobes at you. Am I deviating too much from it? Well, we are kind of talking about because you guys are encouraging me. So, but yeah. So that was been my last couple of days on Twitter, having fun just bullying them and also bullying the She-Hulk fans, or as I call them, the She-Hulk stands, because they're mad that Deadpool and Wolverine broke $1 billion at the box office because comics are a male-dominated field. You can't retcon that important fact. Comics are a male-dominated field, and the medium is catered to men, to boys, to the masculine mindset. So a movie like Deadpool and Wolverine, which rewards masculinity and embraces it, is going to obviously make $1 billion. I mean, of course, you had to be entertaining too, and it was very entertaining. Funny way it needed to be, action-packed way it needed to be, and it rewards masculinity. So that kind of movie was always going to do well, and all the crap that subverts masculinity, like the She-Hulk series, is going to do poorly. And we don't want to talk about that. Well, we do, but the danger-haired crowd doesn't want to talk about it. She-Hulk stands never read the classic version. See, the thing is, that show was based off of Dan Slott's run, as well as the Sensational She-Hulk. You know, the run that wasn't as popular. They say it was a bestseller, but it really wasn't, because if it was, it would have big of a fan base to have supported the show, but it didn't. Because the bigger She-Hulk fans were the fans of the John Burns run. That was a She-Hulk that many of us remember and liked, or in some cases loved. Well, if you loved, you kind of stay away from me, because I don't know what you do with your hands. But the thing is that She-Hulk was not what was it based off of. It was based off the extreme leftist Dan Slott's run. So no shock it was going to push that message and push away the true comic fans. That's why it did terribly. Our space is filled to the brink with evil people. I see no problem in calling those out. Oh, absolutely not. Call them out. Call them out. That's what I say. Fiona says, thing is, I left Star Wars behind because it got gutted enough that it holds no interest for me anymore. I can't even bring myself to replay Knights of the Round Table. It's a dead brand. Star Wars is a dead brand. Like I said, I uploaded my video yesterday thinking it would get the same traction that my Deadpool and She-Hulk video got, and it hasn't. And it's like, yeah, people want to laugh at these SJWs, but Star Wars is not. It's not the draw it once was, because it's been destroyed. It's been hijacked. It's been tarnished by these danger-haired insects. It's been by these bigots, these left-wing bigots and racists and misandrists. It's been tarnished by it. People like to be walked away from it because of that. It's like, I don't have any interest. I'm only talking about it because when I got up one day from bed 2 days ago, and I checked my Twitter, my timeline was filled with people that I'd never followed, that I've never heard of, post after post crying about the Acolyte being canceled. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I'm like, wow, these people are really upset about it. And I'm thinking, this shit is funny. So I got to really laugh at it because it's absolutely funny. But other than that, like, I don't even have any interest in talking about Star Wars. I really don't. There's nothing about even the good parts of it. They're not a draw anymore. Sci-Fi is Life Gaming says, not to mention, a lot of the people on Deadpool knew what they were doing along with Ryan Reynolds. Actually, it was mostly Ryan Reynolds because he apparently clashed with the Marvel executives because they were trying to push She-Hulk and Captain Marvel to have a cameo in that movie, and She-Hulk was going to have like a breaking the fourth wall moment, and trying to claiming to do it better than Deadpool, but Ryan Reynolds nixed it. He never said why, but we know why, because that She-Hulk is not popular with the comic book fans, and that version of She-Hulk is not beloved at all. So he was wise to do that, and people like Ryan Reynolds, when they love a character, see, when an actor or someone who's producing a movie loves a character, you let them do it. Let them make the movie they want to make because they're going to do something that's at the heart. And it shows. I think Deadpool, Spider-Man, Batman, and X-Men are overexposed nowadays, but they're also in more danger of being skinned, a la kill the JL, the Justice League. Well, at one time in the public sphere, Hercules and Persephone and Ulysses, those characters, Medusa, Zeus, those characters, they were part of the public sphere. They were part of the entertainment at the time. They were the comic book characters of the time, and then they stopped. So very soon, these characters, they're going to be characters of yesteryear too. You go to Barnes and Nobles, right, and you'll go to the comic book section, the graphic novel section. You'll see like one or two people there. But if you go to the manga section, you'll see a bunch of people there. That's all you need to know about Western comics and where it's going. Dan Slott's a bigot. Fuck Dan Slott. He's a hateful bigot. He's another guy that needs to be rooted out of comics. He's a parasite. I'll never forget what he said years ago about people that voted for Trump and how he's an awful man, like a very, very, very parasitic creature. He should not be celebrated. Sutor. What's Sutor? What's Sutor? Can someone tell what Sutor is? I don't know what Sutor is. Wait, who blocked? Oh, Dan Slott. Yeah, Dan Slott blocked me too. He blocked a lot of us because he's a thin-skinned pussy who doesn't take criticism after dishing some very inflammatory remarks to comic book fans. So he can get wrecked. Yeah, him and Heather Antos and those people, they all block you when you criticize them because they're thin-skinned pussies. They will make stuff that will denigrate you. They will undermine masculinity. They'll undermine the fan base of comics and other properties. But once you call them out on it, they block you because they want to stay safe in their echo chamber. They don't belong in our circles. They need to be weeded out. And I've never spoken this way before, but again, seeing these crybabies, these people with daddy issues crying about the cancellation of the Acolyte, I'm like, yeah, they deserve to be picked on. I'm not for bullying, but for them, I'm absolutely for bullying because they throw darts at you. They call you racist. They call you misogynist. They claim you're an alt-right extremist. So for that, they deserve to be picked on. I am all for bullying them 100%. But in kayfabe, of course, you don't want to really take it to an extreme because they'll end up in a therapist's office with a bunch of medication and then they'll blame you for it. So I don't want that on your conscience. Captain Planet. I made a mistake when I said Captain Marvel. When I said Captain Planet by accident, I don't want to talk Captain Planet. I remember watching the Captain Planet cartoon, and I watched it only because it was a cartoon. But I had to convince myself to like it. It wasn't a terrible cartoon. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't my cup of tea. I feel like they were trying to make an action movie out of a message, an action series out of a message. Some of the episodes kind of worked, and I'm like, some of it was just like, I guess I'm watching it because I could. because it was a cartoon and it was better than watching adult stuff. So it's the Star Wars MMO made via semi-modern BioWare. I have no clue what any of that means, Fiona, so I'll just take your word for it. How about this? I'm really digging into the old stuff right now. Tarzan, Zorro, Phantom, The Shadow, Asterix, Obelix, Smurfs, and so on and so on. There are many IPs who aren't tarnished by obese danger hairs. Well, I don't know if you heard me earlier, Helmet, but I told you that I purchased Volume 4 of The Vault of Horror, and I'm collecting all the EC comic horror stuff from the 50s and 60s. And I love those comics. Like I'm almost done reading Volume 1 of Tales from the Crypt. And that's the beautiful thing about those comics is you can read them. You can take days or even weeks reading one volume. It's just wonderful to having that library at your hands and at your disposal. So yeah, the classics are where they're at, 100%. I have enough entertainment to like last me for a while and then to revisit it again. So I don't really care about revisiting these IPs. I feel like if they were to stop cold turkey, I'd be fine. Like if they never made another Godzilla movie, if they stopped Star Wars altogether, if they stop producing comics altogether, I have enough entertainment to just enjoy and appreciate what I have. I should be fine. I don't need new versions of these same stuff. Oh, look, it's EYN and Prime. I'm sorry, EIN and Prime. Hello, EIN and Prime. So many man. When are you streaming again? EIN and Prime. When are you streaming again? When are you streaming again? We need to see an EIN and Prime stream again. John Malin calls for it. You must answer the call. Fiona says, Phantom is getting a video game too. I mean, it's cool to see these old characters like getting some new stuff, but I think just revisit them in their older versions because that's where you get the true spirit of them. Because the characters like the Phantom and the Shadow, you know they're going to be tainted with modern day politics, social justice politics. So it's not fun reading them in the lens of like modern day. Just get the older stuff, get the pulp stuff, and just be read. I think that's the best way to read those, in my personal opinion. Aren't you guys supposed to watch gay Japanese children cartoons like 12-year-old schoolgirls? How much mad at you because you guys are streaming? You need to be streaming. Get to streaming, EIN and Prime. This is unacceptable. Well, I don't blame them because, like many of you, they're tired of all the internet shit. They're done. They're especially done with Comicsgate, and I don't blame them. So they're taking a much needed vacation. And honestly, I wish I could too, but I have a book to produce. Beast, Citizen Road. Oh, speaking of which, I'm going to be doing a second chance campaign. I'm currently in the middle of making the page on Fund My Comic. I'm going to do a second chance campaign in September for Beast, Citizen Road Warrior Drake. So that by then I should have most of the book completed. And that's the plan. I want to get people thirsty for the book and having a completed story or mostly completed. I think we'll get more eyes on the project and more people to back. So I'm gonna have to push it real hard for the marketing, like real hard, and just get the word out. More eyes on it. Oh, I read that already. To be honest, hoping it goes well since many characters usually don't get a good adaptation. Yeah, you have more faith than me. You have more faith than me. So, and God bless you for that. I don't have faith that they'll do it right. But maybe they will. Maybe they'll keep to the spirit of it. Maybe they'll keep to the spirit of it. So let's see. So how dare you mock your former comrades in arms? They also make the best monster plugs for kaiju powered. What are you having me reading? What the hell is this? Helmet. Speaking of kaiju, I did a video earlier on some misinformation about Godzilla, and I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan, but I didn't know that Pokemon was inspired by Ultra 7. Like the Pokemon monsters were inspired by a lot of the Godzilla characters, but the whole concept of Pokemon was from Ultra 7. Because Ultra 7 had the capsule monsters, and the creators of Pokemon said directly that he was inspired by Ultra 7's capsule monsters. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. Things you learn. But there was some misinformation about Godzilla and mostly about Ishiro Honda, the director of the original Godzilla movies. So I did a video on that, and that got some decent traction. that and my Deadpool got some really good traction. My Star Wars video did not. See, Godzilla is actually more popular now than ever. Same with Deadpool. Star Wars has not. I thought that I would get a decent engagement with that Star Wars video, the Acolyte video, but it's not. People are just not interested in it. And you can't blame them for it. That's a good sign that you know that it's a dead brand. People just don't care to even hate it at this point. Colin says one of the glories of the public domain is that we'll get a good indie-based game off stuff like the Shadow soon. Yeah, and I guess because it's public domain, it's there's no issue of canonicity. It's just one person's interpretation. So if it's good, it's great. But if it's not good, then you could just chalk it off as fan fiction. So I guess that's a good point. Zorro is a classic. I love those old swashbuckler movies from the 1930s and 40s. And I found out many of the actors, like Basil Rathbone, were former fencers. The actors of yesteryear, E-Man, were trained in other things. Like they were hardcore. See, our actors today are kind of sheltered. But actors of yesteryear, man, they were brutal. They had street smarts. They were trained in other things. Real stuff. Colin says, even Superman, when he becomes public domain, people are gonna have a field day. A lot of writers are gonna have a field day with Superman once he becomes public domain. You're gonna see a lot of indie comics, a lot of crowdfunding of indie comics with Superman in it. Mark my words. The year that Superman becomes public domain, you're gonna see a surge in crowdfunding indie comics with Superman in it. I'm calling it now, and it's probably gonna be loads of money being dumped into these campaigns. It's gonna make some careers. I'm telling you, good. Mark my words. Remember where you was at when that happens. Remember where you heard it first. You heard it here. How is this? I exchange you tards, EYN and Prime, for LRJ. At least it wasn't Mr. Beast, says EIN and Prime. The bar is set low. I'm getting the Sin City hardcovers in a slipcase from Cross Cut next month. Found it searching for manga from Manga Cult. Yeah, Sin City is about as manga as a Western comic can get with the art style. So that was a good movie too. I don't have that in my collection. I need to get it. It is an underrated movie. Very good comic adaptation. I'm buying into the Tarzan books from the Hal Foster right now, and after that, Prince Valiant completed the whole Blueberry books a few weeks ago. Get those collections. Yeah, mount them. Mount the physicals for sure. I'll be happy when Superman hits that public domain. Oh, he's gonna hit it hard. I'm telling you, that's gonna be you're gonna see a plethora of indie books with Superman. A lot of artists are gonna jump into that. It's like, hey, I want to draw your Superman comic, and that's gonna be like, what's the best way to put it without being crass? A lot of people's wet dreams are going to be fulfilled when they're called in by a writer to say, hey, I want you to draw my Superman comic. And they're going to say, I'm drawing a Superman comic. I can find others who get the character rather than he has to have a cathartic emo Hamlet arc. Yes. Yeah, we are all done with the DC Superman. He needs to be in fresh hands now. Can't wait for the super innovative Superman Demon Hunter. Yawn. You're going to see weirder titles than that, trust me, and weird crossovers. Fiona says, that's definitely a downside, Helmet, since the first thing people did with Steamboat Mickey Mouse was a boomer shooter and a horror game. Yeah, you know what? For as much as I talk about Superman being in the hands of people that get the character and they start doing some cool indie stories with Superman, you're probably going to see others bring the character down further and pushing their, sick little danger herd agenda. So yeah, you're going to see ups and downs when Superman becomes public domain. So it's a matter of just picking and choosing and trusting the creator who is producing that particular version of Superman. It's the only thing those douchebags know. Yep. They don't create. The thing is, Mickey Mouse isn't that interesting. That's the thing too. Like he really is a one-note character. Disney's stock of characters, of all the characters they have, their whole mascot is a character who's probably the least interesting of all of them. Donald Duck was very interesting. Goofy was interesting. Mickey was not. No. One of my favorite old cartoons to watch are the Superman ones from the Fleischer Studios. They're beautifully animated. They're still a standard, those cartoons. They are beautifully animated. They're still fun to watch. And it's pure action. Not much in terms of characterization, which is a downside. But then in the 40s, they didn't really go deep into the Superman lore like they did now. Or not now, but like in the 80s and 90s. So they were still far off from that. You couldn't do a lot with classic Superman. Oh, absolutely. Agreed. 100%. And people who say that, well, that classic Superman is a boring character. It's like, no, your vision is short. The character is who he is, but how he interacts with the world and vice versa, that's where you get the interesting stories. But people of small vision can't see that. Also, and I said this on Twitter a month ago, and I had some people from CG even tell me that I was wrong for this. You can believe it. Yeah, people in Comicsgate were telling me that I was wrong for this, but I made the claim that people who are moral, or at least understand morality, can write moral characters. And that's why, like, if you have a Danger Hair writing Superman, they're not going to write a Superman that is moral or pure. They're going to write a Superman that's flawed and in some ways just not even inspirational. Look at Bryan Singer's Superman Returns. They made him into a deadbeat dad. That's character assassination. And of course, we all know what Bryan Singer did. So I want a 50s style soup a la Flash Gordon. A return to that would be nice. Speaking of Flash, this is like a good collection. So Fiona's putting a link in the chat for Flash Gordon. Colin the Lamping says, people who think classic Superman is boring have not read classic Superman. No, they're fun. And it's good to see a pure good guy beating up the bad guys. That's what I want to see. I want to see good guy versus bad guy. You know, Superman as the Golden Boy pure heart character in a cruel and dirty world, that's a fascinating contrast. And it takes a writer who, if he's not moral, at least understands morality, not subjective morality, but objective morality. Get that writer on board with a classic Superman story, and you should have a very wonderfully written and well-drawn Superman story. Fiona says, it's because so many people, American side, think that cathartic anything is king. Yeah, the emo side. Superman has always been a hard character to write for, so yes, it takes a good vision. It's only hard for people that don't understand the beautiful contrast that exists between Superman as a character and the cruel, evil world he's been chosen to protect. It's to me, it's cut and dry. It's just what you can do with it, and and the possibilities are endless. You can do so much with that story, with that dichotomy. The Flash Queen. I will say 30 Superman is more of a Marxist. So I probably, you know what? I don't dispute that, because the original Captain America, the idea and vision behind the Captain America from the original inception, was inspired by Nazi ideology. It's funny because he's a character that was created to fight the Nazis, but yet it was Nazi ideology that created Captain America. The idea of an Aryan Superman, actually the term Superman is also from Nazi ideology. But the idea of an Aryan race was taken from Nazism. So Captain America, the core of Captain America, well, not the core, but the base of the conceptualization of Captain America came from Nazi ideology. So it's just I guess because, you know, with World War II kicking into high gear and our involvement in it, that played a part in it. American patriotism took more form with Superman and Captain America, but their origins were kind of suspect. Fascinating, but suspect. To be honest, I don't think Superman is hard to write for. The writer just needs to have a more optimistic point of view. As I said before, Fiona, the writer has to either be moral or understand morality. Not subjective, but objective morality. And yes, morality is objective. It is 100% objective. Now, ethics is a different story, but morality, there is no compromise when it comes to morality. So they have to understand. And with morality, there's, as Fiona would put it, there's optimism with that. And I think a lot of people want to see that. A lot of people want to see characters or heroes in our fiction being moral again and being optimistic. That's why we escape the real world when we watch a movie or read a book. We want to escape reality and go into a fiction with characters that are optimistic, inspirational, and aspirational. This new breed of movies based on Zack Snyder and all that stuff. It's not helping the medium. It's killing it. Yeah, it's great for a one-off, but for a whole universe, no, people get bored with it. They get tired of it. So Batman is more of a standard for American writers. They think the character is the one to aim for rather than a Superman. Yeah, Batman is more complex. That's why people think that Superman is just simplistic. He's not. There is a complexity with Superman, but again, it takes a moral person to understand that and to create a very intriguing story with Superman. I like how Lois in your classic Superman stories is a criticism of strong woman who needs no man story. Oh yeah, the damsel in distress. Yeah, she was portrayed as a strong person. She was the quintessential independent woman who needed no man until she got in danger and Superman came and saved her. And no shock, they're trying to subvert that element of Superman in the modern day today. Yeah, I know it is. Yeah, absolutely. Even like back in the 40s, well, it wasn't even Superman that mocked it. Popeye did it too with olive oil. It's especially if you watch the famous Studios olive oil and how she tried to do her own thing until Brutus tried to grape her, and then Popeye came and saved her. Those are great cartoons. Absolutely. No in the chat says hello. Ooh, hello. Hello. Hello to you, sir. Hello. What's great is that we've been going for about an hour and 7 minutes. We have about 16 beautiful people watching, and I don't think anybody in this chat asked a single question. Even though it's titled Q&A, no one has asked a single question, but yet we've been having a conversation. I guess that's good. There's a lot of things we've discussed. We've kept it on topic. We've poked some ears and piqued our curiosity. So when are we asking a question? I'm waiting on you guys. This is a Q&A. That means you determine the questions. You determine when you can ask me. How was my day? It says no. Is that no or no? I can't tell what that is. I can't tell if it's no or number. I'm saying it no. But if it's number, you gotta let me know. I'd love for Batman to go back to the 66 version. The lighthearted Bat. Haven't had that one in a long time. Well, just buy the DVDs or the Blu-rays of it. I should buy the Blu-rays of it or the DVDs of it. None can beat those. If you want optimism and fun, lightheartedness, you can't beat that show. And it's, for all intents and purposes, it's still a very superior Batman product. It was a product of the 60s, and the comics were a reflection of that. So the Batman comics of that time and the TV show were synonymous. So contrary to what some people think, the Adam West Batman was not a deviation of the Batman of its time. It was exactly what it was and what it was meant to be. Okay, we have our first question. Finally, a question. After an hour and 9 minutes, we finally have a question. How many? Oh, you have to ask. That's a question. This is for you. Never ask me that again, Colin. You were doing so good. And you had to do that. E-Man says, what is my favorite Popeye cartoon? I like a lot of the famous studios. I know that the early Fleischer ones were animated superiorly and great animation, very fluid animation. And I do enjoy those. But I think I enjoy the famous studios ones more. Do I have a favorite one? I don't know if I have a favorite one, but the few that comes to mind that I enjoyed were the one where the Brutus and Popeye were having that dino war when they're trying to recruit Wimpy as their customer. Also, the Wigwam Whoopi, where Oliver was an Indian and Popeye was like a pilgrim or something. That was pretty fun to watch too. There was also what was another one? The one where they were like helping Olive Oil move was fun too. What do you think is more important element of any comic? Well, the important element is entertaining. Is it entertaining? Is the comic you're reading entertaining? Are you producing an entertaining comic? This is why I hate like segmented comics. Because it's not entertaining. Like you're giving me part of a story and you leave me hanging. I'm not entertained by that. People get wrapped up over detailed art or dialogue or what have you. And it's like, is the final product entertaining? I'll go back to the review of Road Warrior Drake on Well Red Stream when Twitless talked about how, and these were his words, when he mentioned the artwork and how he thought it was amateurish and how he thought the writing was amateurish, but then he said together they produced something that he enjoyed. He said like each parts of the book were amateurish, but when brought together, he couldn't help but enjoy it. And that's how I knew, okay, that's the formula. And he got it. He got it. People can't say that Street Champion Road Warrior Drake is not entertaining. No one can say that because most who have read it have attested to that fact that, yes, it's an entertaining book. Street Champion Road Warrior Drake is entertaining, and B Citizen Road Warrior Drake would be just as entertaining. That's the most important element of a book, of a comic book, for sure. Actually, Colin, I agree with you. It does have the best version of Riddler, the 66 Batman. You know what? Me and you, we have the same takes. We both hit Iron Man 3, and we both agreed that Frank Gorshin as the Riddler is still the best Riddler. 100%. I have the whole 66 catalog. Awesome. Sweet. Cesar Romero was a very good Joker. Yeah, he was. He is right up there with Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix. Well, is Joaquin Phoenix a good Joker? Joaquin Phoenix was a different kind of Joker. He wasn't the Joker that we know. He was an interpretation of a Joker. Good movie. It was a good movie, but when I think of good Jokers, he wasn't like playing the Joker that we know. So I don't know if I would put him in that category. I would definitely think that Heath Ledger and Cesar Romero were two of the best live action Jokers. Some people will say Jack Nicholson, but I think Jack Nicholson was playing Jack Nicholson. I don't think he was. He was entertaining. Don't get me wrong, but I think as far as him being a Joker, I don't think he was really. Man, I'm trying to be serious. You got to put that in the chat. Why? Why do you do that? Colin was me in the chat. We were having a good conversation, and you go and do that. It's not cool, man. Yeah, Cesar Romero was good. He was absolutely good. No, the show's not underrated. The show is definitely a legend. It's a legendary show, and for a lot of people, the characters in that show were in the public's mind until Tim Burton's Batman came out. So up until 1989, Cesar Romero was the Joker. And up until 89, Adam West was Batman. I have the box set of the Adam West show. Still holds up. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. Do you have a favorite villain of the show? I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Cesar Romero's Joker. Like he's very visually, he's just fun to look at, and he's just a great entertainer. And even Burgess Meredith as Penguin. See, Burgess Meredith as Penguin, that's about as comic accurate as you can get, even today. Like you could take Burgess Meredith's Penguin and put it in a movie as is, and it's still pretty accurate. Let me go down a little bit. I'm a little behind the chat. So my favorite Masters of the Universe villain, besides Skeletor, besides Hordak, I'd have to put in. It would have to be a toss-up between either Trapjaw or Triclops. I think Triclops. I've been fascinated by Triclops. I want to put Triclops as my favorite, besides Skeletor and Hordak. If I could write any mainstream comic, not just Marvel, DC, what would it be? You mean, what would it be? I would have to say, I gotta get back to you on that one. I gotta think about that one. I'll get back to you on that one, Colin. I really gotta think about that one. Some funny riddles. What is it no man wants to have, but no man wants to lose? A lawsuit. Oh, that's a good one. Yes. I do have good taste. That's why I'm important, Colin. That's why you have to cherish me in this community. Protect me, because I have good taste. Everybody else has bad takes. Massive Panda says, Road Warrior Drake is an eye-catching character. It almost has that old-school Adult Swim look to it. Gotta have a character or style that lures potential readers. And that's why, Kyle, I'm massive fan. That's why when other artists say to me that they want to draw Drake, I'm sure that they're better artists than me. But I'm telling you right now, if they drew Drake in their style, it will lose a lot of the appeal that this character has. I'm telling you right now, the appeal of this character, a lot of it is based on my drawing style. And unlike one, when he gave One Punch Man over to Murata, I'm not gonna give my character over to anybody. And I think by doing that, I'm gonna just keep the public fascinated because there's gonna be a lot of conversations about what if. And it's just going to be a topic of discussion, and that kind of conversation keeps Road Warrior Drake alive in the zeitgeist, and that's I'm looking ahead. That's 40 chess. Joaquin was okay, could have been better. He looked great as Joker at least. Yeah, he wasn't playing like the Joker we know. He was playing some man who eventually becomes the Joker, and it's a good character study. It's a very good film. Don't get me wrong, very good film, but I wouldn't say he was like playing a good Joker. He was playing a man who was troubled enough to eventually become the Joker or a Joker. Jack Nicholson was a good Joker. I like Jack Nicholson. I really did, but I don't think he stretched his acting chops enough to make this Joker a different character from who Jack Nicholson, the person, is. And I think a lot of people have actually, over the years, have come to that conclusion. Wrestling trivia. Cesar Romero Joker did influence a bit of the original heel Doink the Clown character. Not surprised by that. Definitely not. It's funny that Doink was the idea of Road Warrior Hawk. Look at that. Who saw Matt Bourne sitting smoking backstage, and it reminded him of Krusty the Clown. Ah, that's funny. Okay. I love the OG Batman show. Can be, but much more true to Batman being the world's greatest detective, not what they turned him into as the greatest everything. Yeah, that's a good point too. They kind of OP Batman just a little bit. Just a little bit. Like he's a human in the costume at the end of the day. And I think also like some later memes have actually revealed a truth that a lot of us can't escape, and that's Batman being in the Justice League is useless. Justice League is full of people that with actual powers and skills and supernatural abilities. Batman is just a detective in a bat suit. He doesn't belong in the Justice League. He's a street level hero, and that's where he belongs. So I think his inclusion. I know why they put him in the Justice League. It's because it's a who's who of DC library characters. I get it, but logistically, it doesn't work. Oh, so Helmet's favorite Masters of the Universe villain is Merman. I love this fleshed out character 2002 cartoon, which is very underrated. Yeah, that cartoon was under. Well, no, okay. So I like the 2002 cartoon, but is it underrated? I don't know if I would say it's underrated because drawn well, animated well, treats the characters with respect, but it didn't have much characterization. I was just tuning in and watching people do stuff. There was no character studies. Like the original Filmation cartoon, I think did a better job with the character study than the 2002 cartoon. So I think if they took the writers from the original Filmation and put them in conjunction with the writers of the 2002 cartoon, you would have probably the most definitive He-Man cartoon ever made. But alas for me, it kind of fell short in that one department. But it's still a fun cartoon to watch, don't get me wrong. People accuse Supes of doing everything when in the end they made Batman a 9th level MacGyver for every situation, and they love having Supes get sucker punched to showcase new villain power. Yeah, it's amazing how they just usurped and subverted that. And I love Batman, but Batman is a human being at the end of the day. He's got limitations. You know, he does have limitations. And the thing with like the Dark Knight Returns, when Batman and Superman were having their final fight, Superman was pulling a lot of his punches. People don't get that. He was pulling a lot of his punches. He wasn't really fighting Batman the way that Bruce was hoping he would fight him. Because Superman could have killed him, but he chose not to. And I think in a way, Zack Snyder didn't understand that when he had Superman and Batman fighting in his movie. Took the wrong lessons. You know, to see Batman being, even though he made that suit, it's still a human in a suit. Like, he can't lift Superman the way he thinks he can, or toss the way he can. But what do I know? I'm just a retard on the internet. We have Bat Sauce in that chat. Hail Bat Sauce on his alt account, Student of God. Hail there. Master says TNMT is the only thing I'd want to draw fans from the mainstream. I return them to their true form, not those stupid gap-toothed baby-looking designs they've had recently. So, Master, to answer your question, I don't know if I would pick a character in the mainstream because I like doing my stuff. I don't know if I would do that. I really don't know. I can't say that I would. I'm good where I'm at. I'm having fun where I'm at with regards to making this comic book and this graphic novel. So I don't really want to deviate from that. I know it's a what if question, but I can't think of myself doing any characters in the mainstream. So Colin says, what do you think of me giving my readers depression next issue? Because that is what I'm going to do. You want to give your readers depression? Well, will that include instructions on getting their prescriptions? Because if you do, go for it. Go for it, dude. I wish you good luck. God bless. Eamon says, thank you, Wrestling Bios, for his deep dive into the old Doink character. Wrestling Bios is a great channel. I love that channel. Oh, we have KSS is here. He's blessing us with his appearance here after ghosting me for an hour and a half. He says, I have a friend who is clearly a closeted homosexual. I don't want to out him, but let's call him by his nickname. I'm not reading that. You came in to harass me, and that's what you put in there? See, we were having a good conversation, an entertaining, thought-provoking conversation, and you came in here with this inflammatory remark. You bigot. You're such a bigot. I had high hopes for Kansas, but he's a bigot. He's probably an Acolyte fan too. Jonathan's on point. JL's for cosmic level threats. Yeah, with regards to Batman being on it. Yeah, he doesn't belong. He doesn't belong in the Justice League. He's a street level guy, a lot like who is a street level guy? Like Cyborg is street level. Green Arrow is street level. You know, the Batman. Yeah, they belong in their own category. They don't belong in a team with superpowered characters. Martian Manhunter is perfectly made for jail shenanigans. Yeah, absolutely. He absolutely is. KSS says, I learned that Fist of Masters of the Universe is the brother of my favorite character from the series, Duncan. I also heard that I heard their last name is also Donuts. Of course you say that, KSS. Of course you would say that. No says, what if the Joker started suffering from Alzheimer's and then Batman had to get him to hospital and capture him there? All the patients shunned him, other than one, then Joker, friend revenge. I don't know. I suppose. I guess. I guess it could work. I don't know. It'd be a nice character study. Batman works so much better when he's grounded in Gotham with his own respective villains. That new 52 Justice League reboot where Bruce goes into Apocalypse alone, kind of dumb. Just my opinion. It is, yeah, because it actually undermines Batman. It undermines the character because it makes it so unbelievable that it's like, well, I mean, he's got no stakes. There's no limitation. So I guess he's OP. And it's like, it's not fun. You got to give Batman. Batman doesn't belong in cases like that. You got to keep him. He works better as a street level character in his own world. Not to say he shouldn't be in canon with the other DC characters, but an occasional crossover, sure. But having him be a big part of the jail is not. It's pointless. Batman is a useless character in the jail. I hate to say it, but he's a useless character in the Justice League. 2002 Masters Universe did some good lore and origin episodes and still was lighthearted. The ones about Kildare become a Skeletor and King Grayskull were pretty interesting. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like they had some good lore, some good. I mean, like I said, it treated the characters with respect. It had some interesting stories, but I didn't connect with the characters the way I did with the Filmation characters. There was more heart. See, the 2002 series was more action. It was more adrenaline, and dare I say, more testosterone. But they kind of forgot the heart. It needed Filmation's heart, and then that show would have been perfect. So, but I still preferred over Netflix's Abomination by a mile and a half. Let me see. Scroll down in the chat for a little bit. How would you write a love interest character in comics? Any tips for a convincing good romance? Yeah, here's a good tip. Make the man masculine and the girl vulnerable. Whatever type of character, female character you write, make the female vulnerable. There's nothing wrong with vulnerability. See, that's the thing that I liked about the Wonder Woman movie with Gal Gadot. is her relationship with Steve Trevor. They had no problem, and I have to give Patty Jenkins credit for this because I was surprised she was able to do this. She made Wonder Woman vulnerable when it came to Steve Trevor. And that's why that character worked and resonated, because she was allowed to be feminine. She was allowed to be a woman. And as a male, I can get with that. So yeah, make the woman vulnerable, make the man masculine, but don't make the love sappy. Think about what men seek for in relationships and what women seek for in relationships, and then write that story. For example, men want women who are wife material. Believe it or not, they want a wife, a woman that's going to be supportive of them and on their program and will give them kids. Women want provider males, a man that's going to provide for them, and a man that they know is in charge of all the decisions. I know it sounds, what is the term? Misogynist? You sound like a misogynist, laugh, Matt. You're a misogynist. Dare you say that? Just take those points and then just adapt it however you can. And then you can have a very good, solid romance story, because with the Bechdel test, you should look it up. The Bechdel test, which is what writers in Hollywood implement, which is why when you watch a movie like Godzilla X Kong, there's no love interest, or a lot of these modern movies with no love interest, because they don't want women talking about men in these movies now. It's a thing. It's part of the Bechdel test. So if you can write a love story that subverts the Bechdel test, you may have something that's going to get people hooked. Because believe it or not, a love story with some dramatic angles is good to have in a story, in an adventure story. It's another angle. It's part of the heart that I talk about that Filmation had. No, I'm not ending anything, JD Kirby. You Sasuke sister simp. I'm not ending anything. I'm going to keep going. The question is street level. Yeah, street level. Like I had that. I'm back. I'm catching up with the chat. Seriously, apparently Fisto and Man at Arms are revealed to be brothers. I may have made that donut part up though. Oh, I don't doubt they were brothers. I'm sure they were. I enjoy Batman in Gotham with his own rogues gallery over him in the Justice League too. Yeah, just like Spider-Man, he has enough of a rogue gallery to have his own universe apart from like the bigger universe he's in. He doesn't need the Justice League. The Justice League definitely doesn't need Batman. It's a hot take. Fiona says, Batman worked with the cabinets part in JLU because that required some investigative footwork. And that's fine. See, that's fine. That's why I said a crossover here or there is fine. But to have him be a part of the bigger adventures that the Justice League faces, it makes him useless. He's useless as a character. You have to really put in, like, what is that they call? There's a term for that. You have to put in what? Plot convenience or MacGuffins for Batman to work in a Justice League story. And it just eventually it just becomes obvious. And it's like, yeah, then Batman stands, I guess. What do you think of Marshall Bravestar, last Matt? Loved it as a kid, sci-fi mixed western. So the Bravestar cartoon, the movie, because there was a feature animated movie that was made of Bravestar. That's on YouTube right now. It's actually pretty. I liked it as a kid. I didn't watch it as religiously as the other cartoons, but when I watched it, I was fascinated by it. And for those of you that haven't seen it, you can watch the live action. The animated movie is available on YouTube for free. The Bravestar. So definitely check it out. It's by the same people that made He-Man and She-Ra, but it's actually better animated. Definitely check it out. The 80s had some wonderful cartoons, especially cartoons we didn't talk about. Like what was that cartoon with the machines, the mecha? What was that cartoon? The 80s cartoon. It was made by Sunbow. The company that did Transformers. What was that cartoon? It was like machines that did transform, but they weren't Transformers. They were what the hell was that cartoon? Hold on, I gotta look it up. I had it in my I think I downloaded it. Robotics. There you go. Robotics. And actually, it was actually 3 episodes. Let me just quickly show it here so you guys see what I'm talking about. Hold on. Let me share this here. So robotics. Well, okay, I won't share it, but robotics, ROBOTIX. It was made in 1985. It was 3 episodes only, but it was done by the same people that made the Transformers. But it was beautifully animated. It was beautifully animated for sure. Let me. I'll share the screen. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'll get copyright struck for it because it's on YouTube. But this is it. I'll play it without the sound. But this is robotics, and the entire series is on YouTube. It's only 3 episodes. So you get all 3 episodes on YouTube as one length movie. And yeah, it has the same sound effects as the Transformers cartoon. Pretty decent cartoon. And I remember the toys of this too. But there was a lot of these type of cartoons in the 80s. I didn't even show it. Hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't even show it. There you go. Let me just go back a little bit. Here I am talking about it. And damn it, I didn't even show the screen. Here we go. Okay. So this is robotics. This is the intro for it. You can see the art style. Definitely 80s. And yeah, the toys were something else. Their toys are very interesting. I wonder if they're on eBay. They might be on eBay, I'm not sure. But the 80s had all kinds of this type of cartoons. A lot of experimental cartoons. And the thing is, what's funny is that they were created specifically to sell toys. But in spite of that, they created some fascinating stories. Some very fascinating stories. So let's see here. No, it was robotics, not Robotech. I know. I'm behind the chat. I know. Hold on. I'm going to skip a few things here. Let me see here. Hold on. Okay. Fiona enjoyed the Wonder Woman movie, the only one from the newer live action set. Yeah, that was the only good Snyderverse movie. And it's because it wasn't directed by Snyder. So that's why I enjoyed that movie. Wonder Woman 84 was not good. It really was. A lot of morality problems with that movie, among other things. And then Pedro Pascal was just not fun to watch in that movie. It really was not a good movie. It was not a good sequel at all. They really butchered Wonder Woman's character in that movie. Disto was a soldier when he fell in love with the sorceress. He lost his memory due to being wounded in a war. Interesting. The Bechdel test is cringe and stupid. It's dumb. And you could tell when a movie uses it because you'll have female characters in a movie. You have a male lead or a male side character, and they don't talk about that male character. You know the Bechdel test is applied to that. It's stupid. It was easily detectable in the Godzilla X Kong movie. But it didn't bother me because, you know, if you think about it, like the older kaiju films, they didn't really have love interest in those movies, so it didn't bother me. But a regular Hollywood movie would have had that. But in this day and age, no, they don't do that because, you know, independent women hear me war. But it wasn't as obnoxious in Godzilla X Kong. If you want to see Solid Roman, True Lies, if you want to see a Solid Roman, especially if the wife doesn't know her husband's other job. Yeah, no, that was a pretty decent solid love story subplot. Yeah, that's true. Having arrogant female characters who are constantly one-upping the male protagonist, undermining him, etc., is no longer subverting expectations. That is the expectation. That is sadly true. That's 100% true. No life detective there. So, let me scroll down a little bit here. Okay. Ken says, I didn't watch The Acolyte. Disney Star Wars isn't canon. It's all trash. Yes, Disney Star Wars is all trash. It's all misandrist trash. See, people got to start being... I hate when they talk about woke, how something's woke. Call it what it is. It's either feminist garbage, racist garbage, anti-male bigotry. Call it what it is. The Acolyte was anti-male bigotry that retconned already established Star Wars lore. I hate when they start saying, oh, woke. Be specific. Call it what it is. I enjoy picking on the Acolyte fans. I enjoy bullying them because they're really disgusting people. George Lucas established canon when he was in charge. G canon or George canon overrides everything. This is the original. That is the original 6 films. Yeah, and as much as I didn't like the first 2 prequel movies, even though I lied to myself and said that they were good, but over the years I realized they weren't. I still love Revenge of the Sith. I know that movie has its problems, but it's still to me a very good Star Wars movie, and it does segue nicely into the original trilogy. So. I wish some of the more obscure cartoons from back in the 80s, 90s were more successful, like Dino Riders or Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. Dino Riders would be a good movie to That would be a good thing to make into a live action movie. I would love to do a Dino Riders movie. I had some robotics toys in one issue of the comics. I think the cartoon started when they played a mix of the Bigfoot cartoon for 10 minutes. Robotics for 10, Bigfoot for 10, and Gem. Yeah. Was it that short? I might explain why it was only an hour and a half. I avoid anything with Pedro Pascal. I find his face extremely annoying. Yeah, I don't get the push for Pedro Pascal. I really don't. And they had him as Professor Reed in Fantastic Four. I don't get it. I really don't. He's a very bland actor, and he's also in the Gladiator sequel. It's like, why are they pushing this guy? I don't get it. I'm stunned with that one. That one has me scratching my head. He's not charismatic. He's okay as an actor. He's not bad, but he's okay. But he's not charismatic. He's bland, and I just don't get it. I really don't. That really scratches my head. Here's the funny thing about the Bechdel test. Bechdel herself said it was stupid shit that she just made up. It was never actually supposed to be used. It started, okay, for those that don't know, the Bechdel test was based off a comic strip that the creator herself, Bechdel, put, in which you had two lesbians in the strip who didn't talk about men, and that was it. That was pretty much the strip, and that became a thing that Hollywood writers use called the Bechdel test, where when they write female characters, they don't discuss men, they don't get into fight over men, and they discuss everything but men. So yeah, it is stupid. Watch the old Spiral Zone and Visionaries cartoons. They're on YouTube. Yes, plenty of good stuff on YouTube right now from the 80s. You can catch up on an awesome library. He was in Game of Thrones. I haven't seen anything past season 1 and start. Can't be. I have not watched Game of Thrones, so that is lost on me for sure. I don't know what's going on in Game of Thrones. So, I really wish I had my water with me. I really did. Isn't it funny how like the stream started off as a Q&A for the indie comic Outliers and became anything? Wasn't even become anything but that. We did have some conversations about comics, but I did see this as a Q&A, and I did mull over the possibility of a time change, but we had up to 18 live viewers on this stream today, so I guess people are still tuning in for this. So I'll stick around for this one next week. I'll still be on the same time slot, and we'll see. I'll play it week by week. I'll see how it goes. But I think because it was an open stream, there was more of a possibility of open-ended content, and we'll call it that, open-ended content. I find intersectional feminism, SJW friend. Oh, you had some intersectional feminist SJW friend years ago who tried to tell me that my story didn't conform to the Bechdel test. Fuck out of here with that. I don't need it. Oh yeah, the hell with the Bechdel test. Who gives a shit? Nobody's gonna read a Bechdel story. They want the classic male saves the damsel in distress. You know what's funny is that the Netflix Masters of the Universe, not the first series, the Revelation, that was shit, but the Revolution, the sequel, there was a scene where Tila and Evil Lyn were talking, and they bring up He-Man, and Evil Lyn is talking about how Tila has her eye on He-Man. I was like, oh wow, did they subvert the Bechdel test in that scene? I was like, holy shit, they actually subverted the Bechdel test when Evil Lyn and Tila were talking about He-Man. My jaw dropped, but I was like, I can't believe they did that. And what's sad is that was the norm back in the day, but now it's the exception. So when you see shit like that, your jaw drops because it's like, wow, they actually wrote that. They got away with that. Wow, they really were trying to move away from Revelation that badly that they were willing to subdue and subvert the Bechdel test for that. Nice, I thought. Even though the show wasn't that good, it wasn't bad. It was better than Revelation, but it wasn't good. Following celebs on social media. Okay, someone once told me my Emerald Comic Man was sexist. Well, we should back it. If you haven't already, get Emerald Man. It is pure fun, sex entertainment. We love it. We embrace it here. You want Emerald Man in your library, folks. So go ahead. Follow Colin Lamping on Twitter or X. It's actually X, not Twitter. Follow him there and inquire about Emerald Man because it's pure romantic, sexist fun. And we love it here. All the female characters are rather flawed. Oh, you mean they're human? You mean they're women? I love it already. I'm all for that. I love it when men and women can help save each other, a la the Fifth Element. Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. There was the one-upsmanship. Pure fun, pure absolute fun. I hate Force Awakens when it came out. When everyone said it was good, I was crazy. I thought I was on crazy pills. I like Harrison Ford's performance and practical effects, but I hated the story and the tone felt off. I lied to myself and said, "Oh, I guess that's kind of good." But that was before Last Jedi came out. So now I retcon it and say, "Yeah, the movie was shit, and Last Jedi was garbage." And Rise of Skywalker, which I haven't seen, is pure shit. Pure shit. I will never own those movies because I don't want them in my house. Like that's how much I hate those movies. I spit on them. Absolute garbage. My character Danu has a dark past. And Carolina, well, she also has some dark stuff. Look at you writing the complex characters column. Go for yours. Absolutely. Everything is fake and gay about that guy. Oh, you're still talking about oh, you talking about this is Pedro Pascal. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, he kind of did throw Gina Carano under the bus. Yeah, he is kind of slimy there. They thought I was sexist for having women in a bad light. Well, screw them, because women can't be portrayed in a bad light now because that's considered dehumanized. No, welcome to reality. Women need men. When it comes to the hard situations, you need men. Hate to break it to you, ladies, but you need men. And if you're young, get married, have a family. You need men. Clip it, quote it, put it out there. I said it. You need men. That is not a suggestion. That is an absolute biological fact. What I'm more. Remember way back in movies when girls used to have crushes on guys? Seems like a million years ago. Yeah, again, like go back to what I said about Tila and Evelyn in the Revolution series. When they have that conversation about He-Man, I'm like, holy shit, they actually did the thing. They subverted the Bechdel test there. Wow. Force Awakens in 2009, J.J. Abrams felt like parodies made by someone claims to be a fan, but obviously wasn't. Oh no, J.J. Abrams is a hack. He's a hack. He's a pure hack. I think that's pretty much clear now. Giving him the Star Wars brand was a big mistake. About as big a mistake as letting Kathleen Kennedy take over it. But we're not gonna beat that dead horse to the ground. So. Okay, Babylon 5, Sheridan and Delen's romance arc. It has them going from strangers to allies, friends to eventually married. That is a classic romance arc. It's almost similar to what is a good version of that? I guess like if I have to really, maybe not the best comparison, but I think of April O'Neil and Casey Jones. I mean, I don't know if it was this way in the comics, but I know in both the movies and in the cartoons that came out in the 2002 cartoon series. Was it 2002? No, it was 2000. 2001, I think it was. No, 2003. That cartoon came out in 2003. When April O'Neil and Casey went from being strangers to eventually getting married. So, we'll look into that, says Colin. Cool. Equality is cool until it makes someone of insert identity status feel bad about themselves. The best way to say that, Massive, is women want equality, but they don't want accountability. That's what it is. They don't want accountability because at the end of the day, they still blame men for their shit. And I'm like, yeah, you women have no clue what you want. You think you want equality, but you don't. And for those of you that want to see Babylon 5 for free, it's on Tubi. If you want us, put the link in the chat. So there you go. I have plans for a future Emerald Man and a very cool love interest coming up. Awesome. Cool. What is this cranberry you're putting up? You keep putting cranberry. I don't know am I missing something? No. Am I missing something? I don't know. What's with this cranberry thing? I'm missing something here. April O'Neil could get it. Not this recent iteration, though. Yeah, the modern April O'Neil, who's a short black chick who need no man with her mop head dreadlocks. No, we want the real April O'Neil. The real one. You know, the one that is actually attractive. The redheaded ginger O'Neil. We want that one. B5, Babylon 5 is such a good series. Sucks that the fifth season was such a shit show. I haven't seen Babylon 5. I know you're going to be like, why did you see it? I can only watch so much stuff when I was young. One day I'll watch it. I'll sit down and binge watch it one day. I mean, it took me years to finally get to see Deep Space Nine, and I got to see that along with all of Voyager and Enterprise. I remember we have a TV channel here. I think it's HTV, and every night they had the Star Trek. They would do Star Trek every night. It was 8 o'clock. Was 8 o'clock was the original series. 9 o'clock was Enterprise. 10 o'clock was no original series. Then Next Generation, and then 10 o'clock was Deep Space Nine. 11 o'clock was Voyager, and 12 o'clock was Enterprise. That was a great few hours every night to see that kind of Star Trek. It was awesome, and it made me appreciate the world building even more when I watched the nightly marathon of Star Trek. Casey Jones and Raphael had one of the best from foes to friends arcs ever. I really like that in the movie and the comics. Yeah, absolutely. Matt Barnes in chat, he says, recently watched the original TMNT. April had big old tits and everybody looked mutated. It was a comic. That's what it was. Yes, it was a comic. It was beautiful. Oh, you mean the original cartoons? Yeah, no, April, she had nice tits in that cartoon. Yes, we are misogynistic and we love it here. No, I'm not misogynistic. I'm just a warm-blooded male. I can do that. KSS says he liked Gods of Egypt. He loved The Last Jedi. He loved HBO's. Wait, who are we talking about? Who are we talking about? I'm missing the chat. Are we still on Pedro Pascal? Oh, you talking about your boy Zach? Oh, I missed this comment. Yeah, he's on something lately. Holy crap, he's on something. Without getting a drama, I don't get Zach. Well, there's no drama with Zach. He's just in his own world. He says he's mad because he skipped so many movies and shows because he trusted reviews, but Zach has always he's always had dog shit taste in movies, and yeah, I don't get that with Zach. Like he hates the comics that we hate. He rightly points out their shit writing, but then that same shit writing in the movies he praises. It boggles the mind. Like the Kiwi Farm on the Comicsgate thread has been nothing but Zach the last few days. It's like, dude has lost the plot. 100%. Like I can't think. I know some people he's losing thousands of subs. Rightfully so. Yeah, I love Deep Space Nine. It is actually Deep Space Nine. I think was the glue between the original series and the later canon because they answered a lot of questions. Because there was a lot of issues with canonicity, but they did a great job of tying everything together. And Enterprise just added some nice minor additions that really tied everything completely. So I appreciate the world building, and I believe because I think they had like some people attached. I forgot who it was, but they had somebody attached to all the shows, and that person was in charge of making sure that the world building and the universe building never contradicted itself. I forgot who the gentleman was. Somebody in the chat should let me know. Who was it? Because he wasn't used in the later Kelvin timeline Star Trek. And I think the gentleman passed away too. So. Yep, yellow jumpsuit for April O'Neil. Zach is getting paid by you know who to shill now. Yeah, Richard C. Meyer definitely lost the plot. Kirk or Picard? Definitely a Kirk fan myself. I love Kirk. Picard is good. Don't get me wrong. I do see people making the argument for Picard, but I'm a Kirk fan through and through. And by the way, I'm a big fan of the original Star Trek, the motion picture. Very underrated Star Trek movie. And out of all the Star Trek motion pictures in that series, it was the only one that stood true to the spirit of the show. I know people don't like it because it didn't really write the characters well. It didn't give us the spirit of the characters. But as far as like what their mission was, that movie really stood true to the mission of the show. They were exploring alien life forms. To me, it's a beautiful movie. I've seen it more than once. I think it's superior sci-fi. And don't get me wrong, guys. I know Star Trek 2 and the rest. Star Trek 2, 3, and 4 were great movies in their own way. And a lot of people think they're better. But I think that the first one was just on its own way, very good. Even great. I'll call it great. That's how much I love the motion picture. It's a great film. Beautiful music. Very good cinematography and wonderful special effects. It's a very awe-inspiring film. And once in a while, I had to sit down and watch it to just refresh my juices and just get back into the spirit of creativity. It's one of those movies that I have to watch if I'm ever in a creative rut, and I have to just hit the pause button and just reset and get back into what makes storytelling fun, which is the awe and the wonder of the unknown and the make believe. Zach is a contrarian and purposely goes against his own shit, and he's a pretentious hipster at heart. Like I said, man, he's lost the plot. He's losing a lot of people. I stopped watching him. I only watched him again after the Ed Piskor sub deletion because he had some great takes on the Ed Piskor stuff. He had some great takes on what what's her name? What's her name? I forgot her name. Alex DeCampi. Like he had some great takes on what Alex DeCampi and Evan Dorkin and Ramon Villalobos, what they did to Ed and how they the way they took him over the edge to where he ended his life. Like, he had some great takes on that, and it was just fascinating with the receipts that he showed. And he just underscored how evil these people were. But then he goes back and then is lambasting people because they didn't see Furiosa. Nobody wanted to see that shit movie. Cares? It just didn't make any sense. It really didn't. And he's had some terrible takes even before, like recently, when it came to movies. It's bizarre. KSS says he was in a live stream when he saw The Last Jedi and said it was good. And he said that? Did Zach really say that? Holy shit. I can't. If he said that, holy shit. Oh, I can't believe he said that. That movie was pure SJW. That was SJW porn, that movie. Yes, Kirk is the best captain. Kirk, then Cisco. Yeah, no, Cisco was great. I like Cisco as a character. Very good captain. And he had and the thing with Cisco is his arc was very interesting. Okay, see, now for the first time today, me and Colin disagree. Colin, you were doing good. We both agreed Iron Man 3 was shit. We both agreed Frank Gorshin as the Riddler was good. But now you're saying that the motion picture was sucks and boring? No, I don't think it sucks. I'm going to hard disagree with you. It doesn't suck at all. As far as boring, it's not as action-packed as the later Star Trek films. It's more cerebral, but you go into it with a sense of awe, and it's a wonderful film experience. It really is. I will challenge anybody who tells me that film was awful. Even you, Colin. You're not my enemy. We were great before, but now we're enemies. Okay, so the motion picture had 10 minutes of just flying to and around the Enterprise. Could have been tightened up. Okay, so a lot of people missed the point of that scene. About the scene when they go into the... Here's what happened. And when I watched it, I felt it. Especially with the score. So the Enterprise was Kirk's baby. That was his lady. So when the scene where Scotty and Kirk are seeing the Enterprise for the first time in years, what you're seeing is a man reconnecting with his first love. And you as the viewer, you're watching it and you're experiencing that love with him. You're experiencing the joy and the beauty of what he felt when he saw the Enterprise again for the first time in a long time. The music plays up to that. And you're like, man, this is inspiring. I'm surprised a lot of people didn't get that. Yeah, I understand it could have been tightened up, but I wasn't thinking that when I watched. I'm like, wow. Yeah, that's the Enterprise. It's back. And it's like, wow, she's back again. And we're going to revisit those adventures again. And you see it through Kirk's eyes. And you get it. It's like, yeah, he's reconnecting with his first love. He's back in love again. Could have been an hour-long episode. It was supposed to be. They bloated it to be longer, and you can feel it. I do know that it was written to be an episode, and it was actually based off of an episode, because the whole thing with the satellite was taken from another episode. I think it was, The Changeling? I think The Changeling was what it was inspired by. But it works as a great sci-fi film. I know you want to say it could have been, they could have tightened up in certain spots, but it was going for the epic. It was going for something like you were looking at the Enterprise and you were just in awe. Like, you're staring back at the first love and you're just appreciating that she's back. Her return. It is not objectively awful. That's actually not a good take, Colin. And I'll tell you why. Because there were people who didn't like the motion picture, and then when they saw the director's cut, they were like, "Oh wow, it is better." Believe it or not, when the director's cut was released, a lot of the detractors of the motion picture liked it. They were like, "Wow, it's a much better film." And yeah, we're talking about the director's cut, the version we were meant to see, and that is a superior movie. I will fight anybody who tells me that it's crap. It's not crap. To be honest, wasn't it mothballed in that movie, and they had to recommission it? So again, they had to do a director's cut because it wasn't released in its original form from the direct as per the director. The point of flying to and around the Enterprise for 10 minutes was so you could take a pee. That's KSS. Yes, JD Kirby. Can I do it in First Love? You know what a captain is? You know what a captain is when he rides a ship and he goes down with the ship? Do you not remember in Star Trek 3? Okay? You guys, you call yourself Trekkies. Do you not remember in Star Trek 3 when the Enterprise was destroyed and how they all looked at it and how they felt and how the fans of the show felt when the Enterprise was destroyed? Did you not get that gut punch when you saw that? Well, the opposite of that happened in the motion picture when Kirk was staring at the Enterprise. The opposite of that was you were falling in love again with it. You were reconnecting with it. Kirk will have a long time with Enterprise too. I know the chat's with you, Colin, because they're racist with you. See, this is all about racism because the POC has a take, and we're going to disagree with the POC. Yeah, I'm sorry, but Star Trek Motion Picture was objectively a good film. I dare anybody to challenge me on that. See, the thing is, you wanted more pew-pew. To borrow Fiona Wolf's term, you guys wanted more pew-pews. Because that was the year that Alien came out. We had just seen Star Wars, and a lot of sci-fi movies were coming out with a lot of pew-pews, and Star Trek the Motion Picture didn't have any pew-pews. But it didn't need to be. It was Star Trek. Star Trek was known for its pew-pews. It was known for exploration and the study of the human mind and psychology. Yeah, I can't believe did he say that? I mean, Ken says he was on the stream when he heard that. Meaning he was in the chat when he said that on his live stream. I mean, I guess it shouldn't surprise me with his current takes, but that is still shocking to hear. I watched Epic, 10 Commandments, Ben Hur. Those remaining interesting for hours. Not gonna lie, I watched 10 Commandments with Charlton Heston. Great movie, but that's a movie that could have been tightened up a little bit too. They could have tightened that up a little bit. But it is a great movie nonetheless. I do enjoy it. See, the thing is, you think it's boring, therefore it's not good. You like action-packed. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. But as a movie, it's still superior sci-fi. I will fight again. I will disagree with anybody who tells me otherwise. It is superior sci-fi, that movie. It may not be Star Trek 2, it may not be Star Trek 3, and it may not be Star Trek 4, but you know what? It ain't Star Trek 5 or 6, and definitely any of the Kelvin Star Trek movies. It is by itself a pretty good adaptation of the series, and probably the most faithful in tone to the series. Yeah, it is definitely the most faithful in tone to the series, despite the fact that the characters weren't well fleshed out and weren't doing their personalities from the show, which is the one critique I accept. If there's one critique I accept about the motion picture is that the characters were not fleshed out according to the original show. And a lot of the actors actually voiced that too. They were like, they didn't like how the characters were not given their respective characterization and personalities from the show. That's the one critique I will accept. But boring? I'm like, well, I mean, then you must find 2001. Well, actually, I do find 2001 boring. But that is still a pretty interesting movie. But no, I don't think that Motion Picture was boring. Not by a long shot. Thank God the Motion Picture wasn't borrowed from the episode with the planet with the kids yelling bonk bonk on the head or the hippie aliens episode. Yeah. I guess Star Trek 3 objectively is a better film. So my take on that is Star Trek the Motion Picture is totally different from the later Star Trek films that came after. That's my take. To me, they're just two different types of movies. Because Star Trek 3 was definitely more action packed, and it was about telling a dramatic story and less about exploration. The first movie was about exploration, which is the spirit of the series. The later films were about the soap opera / action that precedes the characters, which is fine. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed those movies. I really did. They are great sci-fi films in their own right, but Star Trek: The Motion Picture was just not. It wasn't trying to be that, and yeah, it did suffer reputation because of that. But if you can get away from the reputation of the show of what the movie attained and look at it for what it is a superior sci-fi movie. I will definitely argue to the death on that one. Sorry, like a bold movie with bold women. She was an alien. What are you talking about, Colin? She was an alien. An interesting alien species with an interesting arc in that movie. Have you not seen Alienation? They had bold aliens too. What are you talking about, Colin? They had bold aliens. Why are you fighting me? We were so good in this early in the stream, Colin, me and you. We were doing great. What happened? Why did you betray me? No, it's not a straw man. It's an objective point. Wow, you really betrayed me big time today. Holy crap. We went from Iron Man 3 sucked and Frank Gorshin and Riddler is great to disagreeing about Star Trek the Motion Picture. Wow. To be fair, Helmut says, the next generation is SJW-ish. It's no more than almost everyone from the cast is an insufferable lefty in real life. Well, to be fair, the original series had lefties too. Like none of them were as insufferable as George Takei. He's very insufferable, and he came from the original series. But yeah, there are some elements of SJWism in pretty much every facet of the Star Trek canon up until Enterprise. But it wasn't obnoxious or in your face and everything like that. It wasn't. Not like it is today. Today is just totally like on steroids. 2000 was boring to it. Yeah, I admit that it's boring, but one thing I will not say about that movie is that it's not good. It is a well-made movie, and it's intriguing as a movie unto itself. It's just not a movie you want to see if you're looking for pew-pew. And, space fights and lasers and Jewish space lasers. So, okay, it says that Zach loves Last Jedi and said it had no SJW talking points, was roasted by the chat, and took it down. A few months later, Ren did it and texted him. Oh, Ethan Van Skyver, you actually like this? And then Zach changed his take. Guided Jim says, Colin, you're boring. Colin says, no, you. So now they're doing no, you are. Okay, it says that the only really bad Star Trek movie with the original was Star Trek 5, and even that is kind of fun in spite of sucking. The motion picture is boring, though. I will accept that many people will find it boring, but that's because you were hoping to get like a pew-pew. And even the original series didn't have pew-pew. Not for the most part. Like, they had some episodes had it, but for the most part, they were more about exploration. It was more about just exploring a human psyche and exploring an alien world that came from an unlikely source. So, Lord Raptor coming in late. He says, woo, woo. And KSS says, boring doesn't necessarily mean I don't like it. Some may say Blade Runner is boring. I can't really argue that, but I love Blade Runner. It's about pacing for me last time. Okay, I get that. I absolutely get that. And a lot of people have said there were pacing problems with the motion picture, but the director's cut fixed a lot of that. And people who didn't like that movie said that the director's cut made it a much better movie, and they actually enjoy it. They actually enjoyed it. I endured The Next Generation for Marina Sirtis in spandex. A lot of people. She was great in that. I mean, boring is subjective. Yeah, it is. Look, I think Taxi Driver, Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver was a boring movie. I didn't like Taxi Driver. That's my subjective take. But apparently it's considered a good movie, so I had to be objective about it and say, well, it's a good movie that I didn't like. So, yeah, that's my hot take there. Someone I know has mold in her lungs. I hope they get it checked out. I wish them luck. Maybe they'll get it checked out. Guy in his room says, do you like The Deer Hunter? Talk about drawn out. Oh, you mean that one scene in particular? That one scene in particular. Holy shit. Yeah, that was uncomfortable. Like, I'm like, dude, what are you trying to prove here with that one scene? in the Deer Hunter. The Last Jedi, boy, the last Star Wars movie I'll ever waste my time watching. I almost didn't finish it. That should make me never want to watch a Star Wars piece of shit ever again. Yeah, that's the reason why I have not watched Rise of Skywalker. And I never will. Fuck those movies. Anyway, it's 10 o'clock, 10:06, and I know that they want to do the Slim streaming. And by the way, I have special announcement to make with Dark Gift, which I'm gonna make with him on the stream, on his stream at on the Slums channel. I like High Driver a lot. It's boring, maybe a bit slow, but I like it. Alazmat doesn't. That's because he's a homosexual, and that's fine. Screw you, Kansas. Screw you. Bye, Alazmat. Oh, so this is now where we become enemies. Colin and I were doing so great earlier in the stream, so great, and now we're mortal enemies because we disagree on Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Well, that's fine. I'll ride this ship alone. I'll ride the ship alone. I will absolutely ride it alone. It's fine because I'm a Puck. And Puck's right alone because we are hated. We are absolutely hated. But yeah, I guess I should end it now. Slow-paced movies tend to be a bit boring, like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. By the way, Good, Bad, the Ugly, that's a... I don't like Westerns at all, but I love the Mayor with No Name trilogy. And The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was a great movie with an awesome soundtrack. Awesome soundtrack. I love The Good, Bad, the Ugly. You and DJ, screw you, Shifter. Screw you. Screw you. That's not what I meant. You knew that. You know that's exactly not what I meant. I want to see a physical fight over the Star Trek movies. This guy in his room. You want bloodshed? I'll shed blood for that movie. If people tell me that movie's shit, I'll shed blood. It'll be over. All of the Dollars trilogy is fantastic. Yes, I had the trilogy set on DVD. I bought it for $10 years ago. It's a great investment. Great westerns, those movies. I don't want to admit it, but I'm with you, Lasmat. I like the motion picture. Yes, see, I knew it. We have fans of that movie. See, the motion picture is a great movie. It really is. Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Even JD Kirby agrees. See, I'm starting to turn the haters around. It has its length. I don't care how long a film is, as long as its pacing is good. Well, I don't disagree with that. On that note, I'm going to end the stream because we're going to head over to the Slum stream because we got some things to talk about. Why not? But thank you guys for tuning in. We had a great show today. You guys were awesome. I appreciate you being here and interacting. And hopefully I'll have a creator for next week's Indie Comics Outlier, and we'll get into that conversation, and we'll have more thought-provoking conversations. Until then, I leave you with a goodbye, a good night. No, we don't. And what the hell is this cranberry thing? No, seriously, what do you mean by cranberry? You've been saying it all throughout the stream. I have no freaking clue what that means. I'm totally at a loss for this, and you have not answered the question. What the hell do you mean by cranberry? Can you please just answer that? I just want to answer that question. Just answer that one question. What the hell do you mean by cranberry?